Hi, welcome to my studio. My name is Licsko, and today I'm doing a very different painting from the normal other paintings that I do. In this one, I started with the rough sketch like this. Now, actually, it's not really a rough sketch. This is actually a refined drawing that I did from essentially just scribbling. I like to scribble sometimes because the scribble it makes me feel like I'm in kindergarten and allows me to find whatever it is that I find in the scribble. And by the way, if you're into drawing, it's a good way of getting ideas. Doesn't mean that it will be the finished drawing for you, but scribbling will give you very interesting ideas. It's a place to get ideas from. And as you can see, I have basically did this drawing. I like the fact that it's not really photographic, figurative. It is, but it's different from Picasso's. This is a Licsko, but what I do with these drawings is that it gives me a chance to explore the idea of putting color with them, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. So, as you can see, I'm adding the colors to the arm right now, and the legs will be coming in, and I've got the basic colors already on there. But it's a completely up in the air kind of painting. I don't really know what I'm going to do next. Not with this, but it allows me to explore like color as an example. I really like these reds and the pinks. I think that it really suits the topic. And of course, this is the form, as you can see. And there is basically a lot of other things that go into this. And I have all of these notions going through my mind. I've been painting for almost 67 years. Well, actually, 70 years. At any rate, I'm here now, and but as you can see, I do focus in on some things, such as the eyes. I want to focus on the eyes because it gives a target on the canvas for the eyes to focus on. And then usually the eyes in a figurative determines your response to that image. If the eyes are maniacal, it will give you a very different view, such as in comic books, bad guys, etc., or very beautiful, decorative forms. So we'll talk about how I develop ideas maybe in another video from basically scribbling to actual finding the image on there, and then I will show you how I perfect the actual lines that in the end you will see. Now in this case, I've perfected the lines in order to accentuate the anatomy in a very sculptural format. Now in this case, I'm going to be working on the hand, which is part of the drawing right here. And as you notice in this drawing, the hand comes through the thigh, but the thigh creates a nice line, a curve, which fits beautifully within the motive of my drawing. So I'm going to start laying the color for the hand. I'm going to show you how I do that. So here the thigh continues, and I'm going to continue with that hand in that area. Now the thumb comes up, sort of like this. And I'm also trying to use a brush stroke in this image that really suits the lighting and the texture of the canvas. I'm trying to create a kind of an abstract-y, almost charcoal sketchy, but more refined than that in color feeling. So as you can see, the hand is going to start showing up now, and it is a stylized hand. And it doesn't matter if I go a little bit outside of the line, because I can overlap them with a pleasing brush strokey effect, which I do use sometimes. And this is not an impressionistic use of the brush, where texture is pretty well the dominant feature of a landscape. I'm not giving you impressions of it. I'm giving you quite a clear distinction of these, or depiction of these anatomical features. And for that, for me, it works a lot nicer when I actually use the paint in this quantity. It doesn't mean that if you paint, it doesn't mean that you have to follow my method. I'm not saying I'm the Lord God of putting paint on the canvas, but you should have the freedom to express yourself honestly the way it feels good to you. You should be painting for your joy, not my approval. At any rate, I'm going back to this thumb. As you can see, the lines are quite dark in there. And even though I'm using these as an example, as a sample source, it doesn't mean that I don't actually cut down on the detail as I keep putting on the different tones and the shapes, because it is, after all, kind of an abstraction. It's not really a form of realism. And this is now also I'm using the constantly darkening appearance of these fingers, because it does go into a more darker area, and I want the light to be focusing at the top, and I will continue sort of in a continuous format, keep darkening down to the bottom, so it's going to have a basically really nice gem-like quality. At least I'm looking for that. As you can see, I'm just shaping the general form of the fingers at this point, but as I will keep perfecting that form, I will be able to put on their thumbnails and other things, but only after I have the general shape that is pleasing to my eye. You know, it's not that easy to please yourself when you paint. Sometimes you have to try things, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just go to some other method. But that inner spirit that you feel yourself to be, the I am, should become basically the guide to your own educating yourself into the use of brush, color, and the whole doctrine of being an artist. As you can see, it's still rough, and it will be rough for a while until I find the actual lines. that will be, to my eyes, the perfect lines.
Right now it looks something like a clothespin.
Yeah, it probably does. But as soon as I start to edge it properly, it will disappear from that look.
You never outline things in black or dark. Like your edges always seem so soft.
Well, to me, light blends from every corner of the room in a soft or harsh way, but you don't see anything outlined in a pencil or felt pen. I don't really use. I could. I have seen lots of images that are very good for that. I could actually do that with this.
Well, it would be a different style
It would be a very different style.
and it would be valid. It just would be different. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I'm saying. You have to find the style that allows you to express the image in such a manner that it goes with the way you feel that image, that you would like to have expressed. All right, let me see. I think I'm ready to put some other tones on there.
Do you know what the tones or what the names of the colors that you're working in are?
Well, this is actually permanent red, something or other.
Magenta?
This is one thing I should actually mention to you. When I buy colors in an art store, I go to the red that appeals to me. I go to the magenta that appeals to me. I go to the mauve that appeals to me. And I select the colors by two according to what appeals to me. It's like going to a kitchen and choosing the flavors that you would like to see in your cake that you're baking. So I don't think that you should go to a cookbook and say, get this particular yellow. The Indian yellow may be perfect for something, but it may not be perfect for the expression of the way you feel that you would like to express yourself. And colors are emotion. So follow your own, and you cannot go wrong with that.
What emotions do you think that this painting is evoking, or will when it is in its glorious finished?
Well, poetry is a very strange thing to kind of define. I'm looking for a visual poetry. I'm not really looking for. I don't. I mean, it's not really a romantic image in one way. The lines could make that way to some viewer. It doesn't mean I'm starting from there. Some images can even be erotic. I'm not particularly creating an erotic image here. I'm just simply creating an abstraction using the human form. So I don't really look for a definition up front before I actually follow the method of expressing that. I just go by the absolute simple method of expressing the image as I feel it by color. So this is
what you are actually doing is you're allowing that drawing to dictate to you, that scribbling dictated to you what the subject becomes.
Absolutely.
And the subject now is being expressed through color, which adds to its emotion. Mm-hmm. Really, it looks to me very much like rather than many people or a group of people, to me it's manifestations of the divine feminine. That's what I get from it.
Yes, well, I try to create image. I have actually have a great love for the divine feminine. It's one of the other universal forces. There's the divine masculine, there's the divine feminine, and it is one of the it's almost like the yin and the yang. It's also like the positive and the negative flow of the electrons in a wire. It gives the flow of life a possibility to occur. So I basically, how would I put this thing? I don't worship it. I understand it, and I'm definitely inspired by it. So to me, the divine feminine, and it has many aspects physically that I can kind of use as form, and the colors of it can add to the ambience in the canvas. But I don't know what this is. I'm not looking for erotica or anything like that. I'm just looking for expression of femininity in a poetic, fluid form, which it's fantastically for painting. I'm using painting. You know, I could be writing songs. You know, songs, music writing has unbelievable possibilities. Some of the images that, for instance, if you know what I find out what I'm trying to say with that, go and see Mark Knopfler's um, um, something to do with the Sultans of Swing, a live performance, and just see how he actually creates that sound in the moment without looking at sheet music. It just comes out from his soul. That's the way you should be painting, and that's the thing I am trying to paint. Sometimes I succeed, not always. You know what? I'm going to cut this video right here because I paint like molasses, for God's sakes, on a cold day. Look, I enjoy every brush stroke, but at any rate, when it's done, we'll come back to it and show you how far I have progressed on that. And if you would like me to show you how I do landscapes and the civil, I'd be very happy to do that also. Anyways, thanks for being visiting with me. And if you have any comments, I would love to hear your comments. And push that like and the button that creates the like. And also, if you want to subscribe, fantastic. And I'm sure that I will see you in the next video. At least I hope I will.